It starts with a knock I don't hear. That's because I'm 2 reps away from hitting a new personal record. Sweat stinging my eyes, Kendrick pumping through my Bluetooth speakers. My garage turn gym is more than just a sanctuary. It's therapy. Custom floor mats, commercial-grade weights, resistance rigs, even a heavy bag in the corner. Built it myself. Earned it. Every last bolt and bar. Outside, the sun burns over Oak Ridge Hills, this pristine, picket-fence neighborhood carved into Georgia clay like it was too good for roots. A place where smiles are polite, eyes linger too long on the black family at the cul-de-sac's end, and the HOA walks taller than the law. That'd be me. I'm the black family. Name's Marcus Bell, 37, former Army combat medic, now a physical therapist, part-time trainer. And yeah, I'm the only black homeowner in this HOA, which makes me the default suspect when a mailbox gets dented or a dog barks too loud. But I mind my business. Keep my yard tight. Keep receipts on every upgrade. Smile at folks who don't really want to smile back. My gym's my peace. Built it after a white neighbor called the cops on me for loitering in front of my own house while I was installing security lights. Cop apologized. She didn't. HOA fined me for unauthorized exterior modifications. That was strike 1. Strike 2 came last month. Letter on my doorstep. No name. Just typed in bold. Your garage is not zoned for commercial use. Take it down or we'll take action. Only, I don't run a business out of it. Never train clients here. Never charge a dime. It's personal, private, legal. I reported it to the HOA board. They brushed me off with corporate smiles and legalese. We'll look into it. Nothing ever came of it. So I upped my security. Installed motion-activated cameras. Reinforced the side door. Call it paranoia if you want. But when you're the only one who looks like you learn to stay ready. And still, despite it all, this morning starts normal. Until I find a gate to my side yard open. Wide open. That gate is never open. My stomach knots. I step outside, scanning the fence line. Nothing stolen. Nothing broken. But something feels wrong. Like eyes I can't see have already seen too much. That's when I hear it. Click. Not the usual click of a weight being racked. This one's outside. Mechanical. Faint. My blood chills. I pause the music. Step to the side door. It's ajar. Not cracked. Open. Just enough to invite someone in. Only I didn't leave it that way. I inhale slow. Every sense flaring to life. Something's off. Something's coming. And I can feel it in my bones. This ain't about code violations anymore. This is a warning. Or maybe it's already a threat. And I didn't hear that knock, because whoever came by didn't plan on leave. I closed the side door slowly, scanning every inch of the gym. Nothing appears out of place, but I know this room like the back of my hand. And something's off. The scent, the air, the energy. There's a faint smell of cologne, cheap and sharp, definitely not mine. Someone's been inside. I checked the camera feed from my phone. Front yard, clear. Driveway, nothing. But the side yard motion sensor? Tripped at 6:17 a.m. Timestamp shows 3 shadows moving along the fence line. 3. Only 2 left footprints in the wet clay by the garden hose. Heavy ones, men in boots. The 3rd? Smaller, lighter, precise. My jaw tightens. A message pops up from the HOA community app. Subject line. Concerns regarding unauthorized structures. I tap it. The sender? Janice Claymore. Of course. President of the Oak Ridge Hills HOA. 72 years old. Perfectly pressed blouses. And a lip curl that makes every word sound like a warning. Been running the board for 12 years like it's a private militia. When I moved in, she welcomed me with a pamphlet, not a handshake. First words out her mouth weren't hello. They were, "We do expect our residents to keep their spaces respectful and aligned with community standards." Didn't even know my name, but she saw my skin. That was enough. Her message reads, "We receive complaints regarding excessive noise, suspicious visitors, and unauthorized equipment in your garage. As HOA president, I've initiated a quiet inspection to ensure compliance. Expect a follow-up soon." Quiet inspection? I reread that line. My fists clench. No one has a right to step onto my property without my consent. No warrant, no warning, no authority. But Janice thinks the HOA is above all that. She's done it before. Towed a single mother's car for having a crack bumper, fined a Filipino couple for hanging wind chimes because they were too loud, even harassed a black teen for skateboarding, claiming he looked like trouble, always under the guise of preserving the neighborhood's image. It's not about code. It's control. I zoom in on the camera feed. One of the figures, tall, broad, hoodie up, pauses right by my gym's entrance, looks directly into the lens. His face is just out of frame. Not HOA board. That's private security. Or worse, some vigilante enforcement crew Janice cooked up. She's been pushing for new neighborhood safety policies since last fall, ever since my gym started getting noticed by a few neighbors asking to train. I scroll further. There's another post she made this week. We must be vigilant. Unauthorized structures and activities compromise our property values and our sense of safety. Let's protect Oak Ridge. Beneath it, a comment. I've seen the garage. It's not just weights. It's a whole operation. Why does he need all that? And another, figures. Figures. That word slaps harder than any slur. It's code. A loaded whisper dressed up like concern. They don't see me as a neighbor. They see me as a threat. And now, they've made their move. But they stepped into the wrong gym. And I don't fold. Not without a fight. I don't waste time. By noon, I'm standing at the HOA office. If you can call it that, it's really just a converted pool house beside the clubhouse, with a plaque out front that reads, Oak Ridge Hills Community Leadership Center. Sounds impressive. It's not. I step inside, and the air shifts like I tracked in a storm cloud. 3 board members look up from their laptops. One lowers her glasses. Another shifts uncomfortably. And Janice Claymore, immaculate as ever, in beige slacks and a pastel cardigan, doesn't even pretend to smile. Mr. Bell, she says, fold her hands like she's about to deliver a prayer or a sentence. What brings you here so urgently? You know exactly why I'm here. I reply, voice calm but sharp. You had people on my property this morning. Janice blinks slowly. We conducted a courtesy compliance check. You mean you broke in? Her smile tightens. There was no break-in. The side gate was unlocked. No, it wasn't. I have footage. Time-stamped. 3 intruders. One of them opened the gate from the inside. That's trespassing. That's illegal. You misunderstand, she says, with the confidence of someone who's never been questioned by anyone who didn't look like her. As HOA leadership, we're allowed to verify complaints under community safety protocols, especially if there's reason to suspect illegal activity. Illegal? You mean my gym? That's personal property. Every piece is documented and paid for. No clients. No charges. You can check with zoning. She waves her hand like swatting away a mosquito. Then you won't mind if we do. That's when I noticed a man standing behind her. Stocky, white buzz cut, polo shirt tucked into tactical pants. He's wearing a patch that says Community Enforcement Officer. Not police. Not even security. Just another fake badge with real intentions. This is Mr. Riggins. Janice says he's been contracted to ensure code compliance and assist in de-escalation. De-escalation? I scoff. You're escalating. You're profiling. You're harassing me on my own property. She straightens. Your tone is inappropriate. And your invasion of privacy is criminal. Riggins shifts. Sir, you're sounding aggressive. My fists curl. There it is. The trap. The script. Push me hard enough. Provoke me just right, and they get to call me threatening. Get to justify whatever comes next. I take a step back. You're not law enforcement. You don't get to act like you are. Janice stands. Then you'll be hearing from our attorneys. I leave, but I don't leave it alone. That night, I call in a favor from Malik, my cousin, a criminal defense attorney in Atlanta. I send him the footage, the trespass, the faces, the timestamps. Marcus, he says voice tight, that's a case. And if they step one toe on your property again, you don't just call me. You call the sheriff. Next morning, I start talking to neighbors. The younger ones. The ones who wave. Some have stories of their own. Quiet finds, suspicious visits. Misunderstandings. Mostly folks of color. One Latina nurse shows me a letter Janice sent threatening action if she didn't remove unsightly patio furniture. It was a baby stroller. Patterns clear. Abuse dressed up in policy. And now it's my turn on the chopping block. They've crossed a line. But they didn't know I have eyes on every door, motion sensors inside the gym, backup storage to cloud, and a copy of my zoning permit hanging on my wall like a diploma. They thought I'd be scared, intimidated, but I've trained through worse than fear. They kicked the wrong door, and now they're about to find out. You don't corner a man who built his own battleground. That IT happens on a Saturday. Sunny, mild breeze. The kind of spring morning that makes the whole street smell like cut grass and fresh denial. I'm halfway through training when I hear it. The clink of a latch being undone. Then a low voice. Move in. I kill the music. Step to the door of the gym. Outside, 3 men are walking toward me in a line. 2 in the same full authority gear. Badges clipped to their belts like props in a bad movie. The third? Janice Claymore, arms crossed, mouth curled in victory. They don't knock. They try the door. I open it for them. Ah. Janice smiles. I see you're finally cooperating. I don't answer. She steps forward, bold now like this is her turf. We've received multiple reports. Your structure violates HOA policy. We're conducting an emergency seizure under community preservation codes. You're trespassing. I say. Again. She holds up a clipboard. This document authorizes. That document is a printout, not a warrant. And you're not law enforcement. She clicks her tongue. We warned you, Mr. Bell. You refuse to comply. Now you'll face consequences. My team is authorized to remove all unauthorized property for inspection and code review. If you resist, we will notify the county. You already did, I interrupt. That stops her. Her smile falters. Excuse me? I reach into the gym and pull out my tablet. Tap a few times, then turn the screen to her. Footage plays. Crystal clear night vision of the break-in 3 days ago. Her contractors. One with bolt cutters. One disabling the side cam, missing the cloud backup. Then the moment they stepped inside. I swipe. Another clip plays. Her post on the HOA app, time-stamped the same morning. We must be vigilant. I swipe again. A third screen appears. This one a live video call. Sheriff Donnelly answers. Marcus. You good? Janice blinks hard. Oh, I say, watching her throat tighten. He's been waiting. I angle the screen toward her. Sheriff. I say, I've got the trespassers here. Again, trying to seize private property under fake authority. Donnelly nods. Already sent a unit. 10 minutes out. Don't let them leave. Janice stammers. You're making a mistake. This is a civil issue. No, I say, you made the mistake. Thinking your power here made you untouchable. Thinking I'd just fold. Thinking no one would push back because you're part of the HOA. Riggins shifts beside her. We're following policy. No, you're impersonating officers and attempting unlawful entry. Janice's face goes pale. You can't record. I own this building. I have the right to record everything. And your voice? That's Crystal. She tries to step back, but I block the door. This gym, I say, is up to code. I've got permits. I've got zoning. I've got a signed statement from the county inspector. You broke in. You lied. And now you're caught. Her mouth opens, but nothing comes out. You wanted to humiliate me. Prove a point. Paint me as a threat so you could keep this neighborhood safe. Sirens wail in the distance. I lean in, voice low but solid. But now you're the threat. And today, you get removed. The patrol car pulls up just as Janice tries to slip out through the side gate. Too late. Deputy Keller steps out, tall and composed, his hand resting on his belt, not aggressive but ready. He takes one look at the scene. Me standing firm in the gym doorway, Janice and her goons caught mid-retreat, and sighs like he's been expecting this mess for a while. "Ma'am," he says, voice calm, "I'm going to need you to step back inside the property." Janice tries to rally. "This is a private HOA matter." "No, ma'am. It became a criminal matter when you entered this building without the owner's consent. We've reviewed footage. Mr. Bell filed a formal complaint. You and your associates are named in it." She goes red, then ghost white. Riggins steps forward. "We're contracted security." Deputy Keller squints at the patch on Riggins's shirt. "That says community enforcement. That's not a recognized agency. You impersonating law enforcement, sir?" "I never claimed." "We got footage of you telling Mr. Bell you were there to de-escalate. That implies legal authority." Another car pulls up. Malik steps out. Janice visibly recoils. "And who is this?" "My attorney," I say, "and your worst nightmare." Malik doesn't waste words. He holds up a folder. "This is a cease and desist for further trespass. And this," he continues, handing a USB drive to Keller, "is a compilation of every incident from the last 4 months. Harassment, property violations, racial targeting." Janice's mouth moves like she's underwater. "There's no proof," she gasps. "There's plenty," Malik cuts in. "And I'll tell you what else we have. Your private HOA group chats, screenshots, forwarded emails, some of those unsightly property complaints. You describe one neighbor's garden gnome as too urban, another's curtains as Section 8 chic. That's not policy, Janice. That's prejudice." "How did you?" she blurts. "Some of your board members weren't as loyal as you thought." I glance toward the sidewalk. That's when the crowd starts to gather. Neighbors, young parents, retirees, people who kept their heads down, but who felt this in a dozen small, sharp ways. Quiet injustice has a way of echoing when it finally finds a mic. I step forward, calm but loud enough for the growing circle to hear. This woman used her position to target families who didn't fit her idea of Oak Ridge Hills. She sent enforcers. She broke into homes. And when she got caught, she tried to spin it like we were the problem. Gasps ripple through the crowd. Deputy Keller speaks again. "We're detaining Ms. Claymore and Mr. Riggins for questioning regarding unlawful entry, impersonation, and harassment. This is now part of a larger investigation." Riggins tries to walk off. Malik blocks him with one step. "You're not going anywhere," he says. Janice looks like she might faint. 2 officers cuff her. She doesn't fight, just keeps shaking her head like the ground has betrayed her. The cameras on cell phones are rolling now. This moment, the one where the gatekeepers of false authority fall in front of everyone they thought they controlled. Janice looks at me, and there's no pretense left. No smugness. Just fear. I nod. This was never about a gym. I say it was about power. And you finally lost yours. 2 weeks later, her house goes up for sale. The same colonial she used to host those exclusive wine mixers. The one with the flagpole and the Support Our Troops sign. Ironic, considering how she treated the actual veterans in this neighborhood. Now, there's a realtor lockbox on the door and a foreclosure notice half torn from a mailbox. Janice Claymore is gone. She's been formally charged with unlawful entry, impersonation of an officer, and conspiracy to violate civil rights. The court hearing made the local news. Channel 6 called it a shocking case of HOA abuse and racial targeting. Her mugshot made the rounds on Twitter. Someone even made a remix out of her saying, "This is my community," and cut it over footage of her being cuffed. Justice tastes slow, but rich. Riggins? Fired. Turns out his security license expired 3 years ago. The HOA board quietly dissolved his contract and hired an actual management company. One that works with the residents, not against them. But the real shift, the part that sticks, is the neighborhood. People who once avoided eye contact now wave. Speak. Listen. Mrs. Lynn from 3 doors down brings lemon bars to the gym's reopening. Greg and Rachel, the biracial couple from Lot 14 who never came to meetings, show up with a folding table and bottled water. And the Thompsons, the couple Janice accused of overcrowding, because their grandkids stayed over, drop off a refried strong banner they made with their daughter. Turns out they'd felt it too. All of it. They just didn't have the words. But now they do. The gym is busier than ever. Not because folks suddenly love squats, but because they found a place where masks come off. Real ones. Where being yourself doesn't mean being watched. Where justice isn't just a word tossed around when it's convenient. Malik stops by to check on zoning updates, shakes his head, and says, "You know, Marcus, this might be the most expensive workout Jan has ever paid for." I laugh, but there's a weight to it. Because it could have ended differently. It has ended differently for people who look like me in other zip codes, who didn't have footage, or friends, or a sheriff who listened, or a lawyer who saw them. That thought lingers. Reminds me not to get too comfortable. But for now, peace. Real peace. Late one night, I sit alone in the gym. Lights off, just the hum of the ceiling fan, and the slow drip of condensation from the water cooler. And I think of my father, how he built with his hands and fought with his silence. How he taught me that real strength isn't in the punch. It's in holding it back until the moment matters. I hear his voice calm and proud. They'll always test you. But if you're smart, son, they'll only get to do it once. Outside, a new neighbor walks past. Young couple, baby stroller. They wave. I wave back. And in that moment, for the first time since I moved into Oak Ridge Hills, I feel it. Not tension, not surveillance, not the weight of proving I belong. Just home. Want a title card or a logline summary for YouTube upload next?